Tonight on Air Rescue.
He might have fractured a rib and his lungs collapsed.
The bobcat bin fell onto his head, but he can't remember a thing.
So the question is, do we move or do we do a chest tube now?
I think I might have found a wall straight away.
Wall at closer.
Yeah.
Little Jira's dad is delirious and disorientated.
Old mother nature's just not playing the game with us today too much, is she?
Lost in the Tasmanian wilderness.
Just panicked.
And wiped out on a hairpin bend.
Grabbed the clutch and went into the guardrail.
The race to save biker Richard's leg. It's mid-morning and the crew of Westpac 1 is on an urgent mission.
So we're heading to a gentleman who's had some sort of incident with a bobcat. I heard that maybe the head got detached, 300 to 500 kilos. It's hit him in the head. We've got a large contusion of the forehead.
A steel bucket landing on someone's head. The man is lucky to be alive.
From the ops we got, it sounds like his breathing, his oxygen, his blood's not that great. He may not be as well as we thought he might be.
60-year-old truckie and father of 5, Tom, has lived in the local area for 34 years. He'd been clearing one of his properties with a bobcat when the accident happened.
There's a paddock to the west of our ambulance vehicle.
Yeah, someone searching for him. I don't know, are they just
Got him.
The ground paramedics are already on the scene, but they are surrounded by power lines.
Yeah, we'll just prove where the power lines are.
Pilot Kevin has got to get in as close as he can.
And I'll just sort of come in into the middle of this flat bit here. Yep, clear. It's all good, you're clear to go, guys. And move it up.
Big bucket, looks like it's hit him on the head.
Right.
That's the bobcat that did all the damage. A malfunction brought the machine's bucket down.
Probably had a surrounding kilo bucket.
Come on, quick. How's your breathing feeling? Here's midline.
Patient Tom is struggling to breathe. Dr. John's briefed by the ground crew.
Chief complaint is midline spine pain. He has got decreased air entry into the left lung fields there. Obviously he's got the head injury there as well. He's got no recollection of events.
Hey, my name's John, one of the doctors from the John Hunter. You got hit on the head by that bucket, did you?
I don't know.
You don't know what happened? A lot of pain?
Back.
Your back, okay. You can move your legs all right. So you're his son?
His son, yeah.
Okay. He's doing some work here, was he?
Yeah, well, this is his property.
Oh, it's his property. Okay.
Son Bryce was the one who called 000 for help.
He called me, yeah. And then I got onto the ambulance. How's your pelvis feel, okay?
What's sore there? Your chest, which side? Both of them.
It's a potential life and death situation.
Seems to have a chest collapse on the left, maybe from a fractured rib. If he starts to deteriorate, we're going to have to put a tube in to drain that air, and I'd rather do it at the hospital than out in the paddock.
Dr. John needs to make a critical decision.
Decisions are, he's on ultrasound, got a pneumothorax, so the question is, do we move or do we do a chest tube now?
The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue Base, Tasmania, and the crew of twin-engine Polair 73 is on high alert.
Go ahead.
A bushwalker is gravely ill and trapped deep in the wilds of Cradle Mountain National Park. The hiker's name is Robert. Early reports suggest he's suffering from high fever. He's delirious.
It's a gentleman who's feeling unwell. There's a search and rescue party with him, but reports this morning that he really can't go any further. He's quite sick.
And it gets worse. Robert's 6-year-old daughter is also with him.
As you can see, there's a lot of kit to load when you go up to the wilderness. I'm basically prepared for anything, in case we have to do a winch rescue, or in case we need to spend the night up there.
we're heading to the track between Scott Gilbert Hut and Dove Lake. We'll be halfway between there. Over.
Cradle Mountain is 190 kilometres northwest of the base.
I think the cloud might have lifted a bit too, so it's all looking pretty smooth and clear up ahead, Drummy. I think I might pick her up to about 4.5, and that'll get us there nicely.
Conditions look good for a fast rescue.
Looks like the clouds lifted a little bit from the forecast. I don't think it's going to be an issue today.
With 12 years of flying under his belt, Joe knows the weather can change in an instant.
Never say never in Tasmania, mate. I spoke to his
Yankee 81.
I think I might have found a wall straight away.
Wall of cloud.
Yeah.
The low-lying cloud is closing in. If Joe loses visibility, navigating Cradle Mountain will be near impossible. In Tasmania, Polair 73 is trying to get to Robert and his daughter Jaira.
I think I might have found a wall.
Wall of cloud.
Yeah.
But clouds have closed in. Pilot Joe is trying to find a way through.
Well, Mother Nature's just not playing the game with us today too much, is she?
How far from Natural Sea are we?
No, we're not far. We're only 8 miles, but we're going pretty much going perpendicular to it now, mate.
Fair enough.
Poor visibility means the crew is forced to circle the rescue site.
It's just a matter of weaving your way through gaps where you safely can, trying to find the valleys to fly up.
After a few uneasy moments,
Speed back. Left and right doors coming up.
they're in.
It's a fairly optimistic landing site. Let's get down low and have a good look at it, Drummy. I think we're home and hosed now, but I said that last time.
Their target? A muddy, rain-soaked plateau.
She's going to be tight. You're clear on the left. I'll be back committed to the ground.
Robert and daughter Jaira are there at the hut waiting for them. The search and rescue team is beside them.
Just about to touch down now. Hold. Just want to have a look under the skids.
If the skids get stuck, they may not get out.
Right skids down. Right skids down. Just coming off monkey line. I just slowly sinking right side. Sinking on the right.
The rescue mission is in jeopardy.
Yeah, it feels like the heels are sinking in. It's worse on the right.
How's your plane going, mate?
In Clarencetown, the mood is tense.
Okay, wiggle your fingers. Great.
This steel bucket fell from that bobcat onto patient Tom's head. He's lucky to be alive. Early diagnosis suggests severe head trauma, suspected broken ribs, a broken back, and chest injuries.
Seems to have a chest collapse on the left, maybe from a fractured rib. Sorry? Question is, do we move or do we do a chest tube now?
Tom is in real trouble.
There's air around the lung within the chest, which can be a problem. We're thinking about whether this guy needs a chest tube between the ribs to drain that air and allow the lung to re-expand.
I'm going to try and get you to the John Hunter. If your breathing starts to be a problem, we might have to put a little tube into your chest. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's a heartbreaking scenario for Tom's son, but he's holding up well.
We prefer not to put the chest tube in out in the middle of a paddock. Best to done in a hospital under clean conditions.
We've only got a short flight. When we start moving, if things deteriorate, we've still got time to put one in. All right?
There will be no open field surgery. It's a race to the hospital.
Got to prune things as you go. Too wise.
Dr. John calls through to the hospital.
At the moment, he's saturating 98% on a non-rebreather and he's stable hemodynamically. So because it's a short flight, we're going to move, but might be worth having a chest tube ready for when we get there. Excuse me, Pilot Kevin.
Yeah.
Some low altitude and higher pressure would be appreciated.
Okay.
It's clinical condition.
Yep, understood.
Flying at high altitudes makes breathing difficult. They've got to keep Tom's oxygen intake stable.
What we want to make sure is that there's more oxygen available in the inside of his lung and less pressure on the outside.
Pilot Kevin needs to fly them in at the lowest legal altitude.
I feel under pressure, but I think we'll be able to deal with it.
You've got to earn your keep, mate.
This bloke's bloody lucky that that bucket didn't kill him.
Yeah, it looks like quite a big bit of machinery, didn't it?
Yeah. Tough old fella.
Tough and lucky.
Right skids down, just coming off monkey line. I just slowly sinking right side.
Cradle Mountain, Tasmania, and Pole Air 73 is sinking into muddy, wet terrain.
Still sinking on the right. Yeah, it feels like the heels are sinking in.
Patient Robert is suffering from delirium and high fever. Pilot Joe has to make a split decision.
No, it's worse on the right.
Stay or go.
Keep the power on, let's get them in. Happy to keep the power on? Roger that, get them in. Clear out? Clear out, roger that.
It's job on. But Robert and daughter Jira's 30-hour ordeal is not yet over.
My name's Andy.
The skid sinks deeper into the terrain.
Little one's on a belt. And next one in.
Dad Robert is struggling to maintain balance.
He's not well. No, he's not.
Robert is overcome with emotion. But through it all, little Jira has not stopped smiling.
Need to keep moving up. Plenty of power. And we're heading to the visitor centre.
The rescue crew will now take them to the Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre for medical evaluation.
Yankee 9 on the ground at the Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre. Roger.
Robert will be assessed at the Ranger's Hut before he is allowed to go home.
Rex our Tassie Tiger and Tassie Rescue Tiger.
Jira gets a memento of her flight, awarded for exceptional bravery.
Look after him. Make sure he doesn't get sick like your dad.
There's one thing I can guarantee you. When I have the next opportunity, I'm going to be donating to the rescue helicopter because I've got a whole new respect and appreciation for what these people are doing.
In central New South Wales, the Westpac rescue crew has been called out to the Putty Road.
Hey, you're just coming out the Putty Road now.
As stated, motorcyclist at guardrail, high speed. He has a proximal tip compound fracture of the left leg.
Westpac, we're going to commence our search along the Putty Road.
The Putty Road, nirvana for motorbike riders.
Putty Road is a really popular area for motorbikes. It has some wide open sweeping curves and there's a few sharp tight ones in there as well.
It had to happen in a sunny day on the Putty Road.
That's what makes it so enticing and so deadly.
We've had a number of major injuries and unfortunately even deaths along this road over the years.
The crash victim is father of two, Richard. He was riding with friends when he lost control on a hairpin bend.
So the information we've been given is that he has a fractured femur and that it's still actually bleeding from the wound and the tourniquet has been applied. Potential loss of blood.
Blood loss always triggers alarm bells.
We've got ambulances responding from the north.
Volunteers are treating Richard at the crash scene. Reports suggest he's barely conscious.
We have a group of community first responders which are generally volunteers through Rural Fire Service, and they undergo some training with the ambulance service and they really are the backbone of these areas. Okay, I might have him on the nose here now. Does that look like the spot? Yep, that's it.
The road is still open, but the crash scene is on a tight hairpin bend.
Is he anywhere to land around there, do you think, guys?
They've got to get as close as they can to the crash site.
What do you reckon? Lean into the paddock next to the road? We should be able to squeeze in there. Yeah, looks like plenty of room.
It's a low-risk landing strategy, but they're a long way from the crash scene.
And to clear the descent. Go off the ground.
They have no ground transport.
I'll try and get a vehicle while you guys are getting sorted.
They'll have to hitchhike.
We're commandeering the local, Chloe. Awesome.
Hi there. Do you have room in your car just to take our crew up to an accident just up the road?
That'd be okay, thank you.
Thank you. Just guys come off a motorbike on a bend.
Goodwill is the lifeblood of regional Australia.
Thank you very much appreciated.
It came off or had an accident?
He's come off into the guardrail. This is a really popular area for motorcyclists.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a safe trip.
Ground paramedics and volunteers have done their best to keep Richard stable and conscious.
Hi, Fee. Nice to meet you.
Dr. Fiona assesses the injuries.
Richard, my name's Fiona. I'm one of the doctors. How's your pain?
Pretty powerful.
Her biggest concern is patient Richard's left leg.
So we've had 8 of on dance, 5 of morph. And all right, let's take a squeeze at this, shall we? Hey, Richard, I'm gonna have a look.
The wound has been de-identified. It's gruesome. His calf muscle has been torn away from the bone.
He's got a really nasty cut that basically goes all the way across the back of his knee. And I can see that the calf muscle has been chopped away. There are major nerves and blood vessels, including the popliteal artery running down the back of that leg. This is a fairly serious injury.
Father of 2 Richard lost control of his motorbike on this hairpin bend. His bike is a write-off, and his calf muscle is a mess.
Guys,
20.
You saw it?
Yes, I was behind him.
Friend David witnessed the accident.
Came around the corner, wasn't going fast at all, only about 20 k's an hour. Just panicked, grabbed the clutch and went into the guardrail. Got pinned between the guardrail and the bike.
Flex your elbow for me. Oh, sorry, chap. It hurts in your shoulder, doesn't it?
Richard's shoulder and leg appear to be broken. But it's that nasty open wound that Dr. Fiona's most worried about. She's taking photos to hand over to the trauma specialists at the hospital.
The longer he's exposed to the ground and all the bugs and germs and things, he's at risk of getting quite a nasty infection.
Mate, we're going to lift up your leg so we can dress it. On the count of 3, lifting up. 1, 2, 3, nice and gently.
The artery at the back of Richard's leg has been cut.
What we're trying to do, first of all, is to get specialised dressing that's impregnated with a clot-activating drug. We want to get that on the back of the leg as quickly as possible.
How's your pain? Tell me. Pretty bad?
Scott and Fiona need to work quickly.
Okay, we're nearly finished.
Okay, and we're ready for the box, Flint?
Thanks, guys. Have you got that stretcher?
Richard, we're going to move you, okay? We're just going to be really, really careful of this left arm. I'm not going to do anything with it. Okay, you may well have fractured something, okay?
So we have to get someone to look after his leg. We're going to have to look someone to look after his arm.
Richard is in excruciating pain, but the journey is far from over.
1, 2, 3.
He still has to be transported to the helicopter. Richard was wearing full leathers when he crashed. Without them, the Putty Road may have claimed another fatality.
To be honest, you've done all right, okay? It's not brilliant, but it could be a lot worse, couldn't it?
Moving forward, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful, guys.
The volunteers are the unsung heroes of the day.
Thank you so much for what you guys do. Thank you very much. You guys make a huge difference.
Richard's had a close call. His bike riding days may be over.
I think my wife will put a foot down.
Good afternoon from Westpac. Well, we've taken off from Bulga. Many thanks to Singleton 308 and the CFRs.
The bleeding has stopped. It's now up to the hospital staff to try and save Richard's leg.
Good afternoon again, Westpac 1 is landing John Hunter Hospital and change your bed to state 1.
So if we just see a distressed young lady walking across, we'll know it might be her.
That's Richard's wife in red, anxiously waiting for him.
Anything for a ride in a helicopter, eh?